Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Danger Pit. My name is, in fact, still Chef Danger. So today I have spent all day cooking two very exciting beef ribs today. Let me just quickly show you what we've got. So I've got my first beef ribs, Texas style, tasty little meteorite. Got loads of squish on there. Nice crispy bark. Very good. But who cares about that when we've got an experiment? These are my Mexican style saltless beef ribs, done with a really spicy, earthy, bassy, chipotle style marinade, no salt. Anyway, so let's get these sliced. But before we get these sliced and get these et, let's go and say hello to yesterday me, who spent time yesterday for me today doing this. Yesterday. Yeah, thank you. Hey future me, thanks for the introduction. It's past you, or currently me, if you're currently me, which I currently am. Anyway, so we're in my back garden. It's the night before the cook, and I'm just going to very quickly throw together this marinade, and I'm going to talk you through it. So it's this spicy, sour, musky, sweet, smoky, birria style, Mexican style marinade. Now, if you've been watching this channel a while and you watch my video where I made birria tacos, I'm kind of making the same marinade I did then, but tweaked ever so slightly because we grow, we change, we learn from our mistakes. Now, when I did that video, I took that brisket, which I marinated with similar marinade, and I cooked it to 160 degrees, which took about 8 hours. I pulled it, cooled it, diced it up and made it into soup. But that morning, when I was taking it out of the parcel, when I was dicing it, ready to get it in my crock pot to make the soup, like, it smelled just incredible, like, unreal. I've not smelled barbecue like it before, and I was a little bit disappointed I couldn't really take this tough as leather beef and have a taste. So my thinking being, I'm going to use beef ribs, which are a much shorter cook, about 7 or 8 hours, which is how long it was before I pulled. My idea is to try and recreate that super tacky, soft, squishy bark that it had last time with those same sour, deep, spicy, earthy flavors. Anyway, I'm going to stop gushing about how brilliant my old ideas are, and I'm going to show you how this idea is going to work. Obviously, I've never tried this before, so it could be awful, but I don't think it's going to be, because I think it's going to be absolutely class. Anyway, come and have a look. So first things first, in this marinade, we're going to go with an entire jar of chipotle paste. Now, last time I did this, I used dry chipotles and I made a liquor from them, did it all by scratch. It was class, it was amazing, but it was also eye-wateringly expensive. Those chilies were 15 quid a bag, and, you know, cos he lives, that's how it is. So, whole jar of that in there. Going to put about 10 grams onion granules, about 10 grams of onion powder. Now, I'm not worried about clumps because this is a wet rub, so this is all going to get incorporated. About 2 tablespoons of oregano, just dry oregano. About 2 tablespoons of paprika powder. About 2 tablespoons of cumin. Into this, I'm going to zest about 3 chilies. Yes, zesting, because I want them to be like a puree. Make sure we get all this lovely stuff from inside the grater. Going to do the same thing with 2 bulbs of garlic. Doesn't matter if you get any chunks in there, you're going to be knocking the excess marinade off before we cook it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It's all going to add flavour to the pile. And same thing with about 100 grams of fresh ginger. Now, I get my ginger out the freezer, makes it way easier when you grate it. It all just flies through, and you don't get all of that fibrous residue because you can just flick it off when you've expunged all of its goodness, like so. You could add brown sugar to this, but as I've mentioned before, I don't really like brown sugar in any of my barbecue while it's cooking in my smoker because it's always a nightmare to clean off. I don't really think it adds anything. And then using this spoon device, let's give it a little mix in, get it all incorporated. So it should look like this nice chunky paste. Now it's time for the beef. And so these are my lovely beef ribs, 2 kilo Black Mountain beef ribs. Now, what's great about beef ribs is you don't need to butcher them. They don't need to do anything, don't need to do any tidying up. They are ready to go out the packet. Now, those of you who are observant may have had a look at that recipe a moment ago and gone, but Chef Danger, are you not adding any salt? Now, no, I'm not. So chances are, if you're a good old boy like me, and you know your way around a brisket, you've probably had that conversation with the doctor. Mr. Pitt, you need to eat less salt. So this is an experiment to see if we can make tasty barbecue beef smoked without salt. I always find the amount of salt that a lot of people, especially, you know, you Americans, you really like your salt on your beef. Let's see if we can't come up with a new recipe for barbecue, something that contains 0 salt, where we still get really exciting, big, vibrant, spicy, intense flavors without salt, just using seasoning, herbs, spices. I still reckon this is going to be delicious, but we will find out. Right, so let's take this rub and get it absolutely rubbed to merry hell. I want this marinade on every part of this beef. Oh shit, I didn't take the... Oh, I forgot to take the membrane off. Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's an easy fix, I suppose. Beef ribs, like any ribs, I've got a membrane. Just using a paper towel. Get in there. And let's see if we can't get this off in one big piece. No, we can't. That wasn't me. There was a butcher's cut there. I was tripped up. Someone trying to make a fool out of me. Damn it, I can make a fool out of myself. So, as I was saying, marinade. Every nook, every cranny, every surface, all on the sides, all on the back, all between these nice striations. I like how this beef now blends in with the old enamel cooking tray that I've got it in. Right, and that's it. We're going to throw this in the fridge, just like this. And let's let it get all spicy and tasty overnight. Lovely salt-free recipe. Whoa. I don't like the look of those clouds. So while my smoke is preheating, I just want to do a big shout out to Yesterday Me for doing these ribs yesterday. Obviously they smell, wow, they smell really, really good. And they've tenderized a little bit as well.
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
Now, today me is going to sort the Texas ribs. Now, these have just come out the pack. What butchering am I going to have to do with them? Absolutely nothing. All I need to do is get the membrane off the underside, get them injected, get them rubbed, get them on the pit. Have a beer for breakfast. Just a little
Norwich beef stock pot.
beef broth injection. Give it a little bit of moisture. And we're going to go down the ribs, beneath the bones, and get some extra juice all up in there. Bunch of different sites, super juicy when we eat them. Have a little feel, make sure I've got it spread out evenly. Lovely. Give them a little pat dry. I'm going to hit it with a bit of Frank's hot sauce just to get it tacky. Both sides. The back doesn't really take much in the way of seasoning of rub or anything, but I'm still going to give it some TLC. We're an equal opportunity devourer here on the Danger Pit. Got the booty shaker with my beef rub in. Just salt, pepper, paprika, garlic. Gonna go heavy on this rub. I want it to build a massive bark. It's gonna be quite a short cook and we're not gonna wrap. So I want as much bark, as much smoke, as much flavour as we can get in these bad boys. The underside as well, I'm just gonna give a little sprinkle too. It doesn't super matter, but I mean, I'm here, so. Lovely, look at that. Perfect. Right, let's get these ribs on. Quick vibe check, make sure we're ready. Yeah, that's looking good. Running a little bit hotter than we'll be cooking. About 325 degrees at the moment, but that's fine because I'm going to be letting all the heat out now while we get the meat on. Going to put my beautiful marinated Mexican ribs at the back. They're a little bit smaller and they're not injected. Whereas my Texas ribs, which are a little bit bigger and I've injected them, can take the heat. So they'll go nearer the front. I'm going to add my temperature lemon between the two so I can really make sure I'm dialing in those temperatures. Last but not least, a little bit of moisture to my cook chamber. Beautiful. Gonna keep it dialed in between 250 and 275 today, nice and slow. So we're about an hour and a half into this cook, which is about the time I'd usually start spritzing. So it's been on there long enough that the meat's warmed through, the bark started to develop, and if I add extra moisture to it, I'm not just going to knock my rub off, it's actually going to stick. And now, I'm not going to spritz today because this bloody mop, right, was a game changer when I did the pork. Now, I got it to mop the pork because I was like, it looks good. Honestly, that was the main reason why I got this. It really looks the part. But actually experimenting with it and using a hot mop onto the meat doesn't mean that my temperatures fly all over the place, and it formed a really tacky, really sticky bark. Now I'm going to do something similar today. So when I did the pork, I went for a really sweet, spicy flavour profile. Now, I don't really like sweet with my beef so much, so instead I'm going to go for sour, spicy flavour profile. So I'm just going to go apple cider vinegar, touch of cayenne for colour, a bunch of paprika for spice, chili flakes and some slices of lemon, because the slices of lemon look cute. Get this good and hot on my firebox, and then I'm just going to dab, 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 brush, 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 just keep it nice and moist, keep my cup chamber moist, nothing's going to burn, and we're going to build like what I think will make a nice, chewy, robust bark. Better than the spritz, I think. This'll be a little experiment. Let's see how we get on. And here's how we're looking after that first mop. Yeah, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Colour's starting to develop. Got bark starting to develop. My Mexican brisket's starting to smell really strong, really sour. Lovely. Beautiful. Let's get this closed up. Oh crap. Here we are at 2 hours, ready for another little mop. Yeah, look at that. Righteous. Before I mop these, I give them a turn. Just the bark's even either side. So the bark looks different to when I'm spritzing. Noticeably different. It looks a lot more cohesive. Doesn't look as blotchy. Obviously, this side's an experiment, so this just looks like good eating. That's all I've got to say on that one. Make sure I get some on the sides there so it doesn't burn. Try not to knock the seasoning off it. Lovely. Here we are at 3 hours cooked, and we're starting to look a little bit delicious, if I may be so outrageous as to say. Let's have a little drizzle with my mop. Right, so 4 hours. Let's have a look. Oh, nice. Looking good. Oh my god, that tastes so beefy. Right, 5 hours. Let's give these a little turn. Yeah. Nice. Give them a little mop. Have literal actual guests arriving in the background. And so here we are at probably 7-8 hours now, and then just very delicately, boop, boop. You don't need to touch it, you just need to boop it lightly around the edges and drizzle a bit over the top. Man, I love beef ribs. So in theory, they're meant to be a dead easy cook. In practice, these should have been ready 2 hours ago. Everybody's been very patient waiting for them to finish. So let me just get me knife and let's have a slice. So I'm gonna do this Texas style rib first. This was just salt, pepper, paprika. Let's have a little slicey boo and see how we looky-loo. Texas beef ribs. They smell so very meaty, and they are so very wet and so very juicy and so glistening. Right, I want to see if I've got salty, spicy, I always forget how much it tastes like caramel. I forget how sweet beef ribs are. It's good shit. Oh, right. Who cares about Texas? It's all about Mexico today. So, this experimental one. Let's have a little slicey boo and see how she looky-loo. I mean, surprise, surprise, it doesn't look any different on the inside. I don't know what I was expecting to get there. Let's have a look. Nice even cook. Nice and meaty, nice and tendy with a good bite still. Let's have a little slice off and see if we tasty good. No salt. It's not missing salt, you know. It tastes good. I really thought cutting and eating into that one, my first thought would be this needs salt, but nope. It's fatty, it's beefy. I can taste the beef better on this one than I can on the Texas one. That real meaty, beefy taste. That's good shit. I'm going to get this one sliced real quick, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to serve it tonight. So, I like taking the ribs off. So let's just whip a little slice. So, I've gone for a really sour, spicy flavour profile, and I wanted something to go with it. But I couldn't be arsed cooking anything else. I've cooked enough today. But what I've got, some Indian style lime pickle. I love lime pickle with a curry. I love lime pickle on crackers. I love lime pickle out the jar with a spoon like an animal. It's up there with peanut butter in terms of spoonable, eatable things, but that's really good. That's really, really good. Oh, man. Oh, right. This is the new sound. This is the new sound, I'm telling you. This... It's really good. I'm really pleased. Right. All of these lovely people have waited very patiently all day while dinner took too long and while I stood around talking about how nice it is. So let's get it sliced and let's let these buggers have some dinner. My name's been Chef Danger. This has been The Danger Pit. Thank you very much. If you've made it through to the end of the video, that means you're one of the good eggs. So thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Come on the Discord. Pew pew! There's like 2 people joined since the last video. Yeah!